He just doesn't understand what a cop goes through every day. So he's leaving again. This time for good.
It's me alone with 2 kids. She says she can't handle my attitude anymore. Says I'm not the same person she married. She told me I need help.
He told me to talk to somebody. Yeah. We need another bill to add to the pile. And besides, where the hell are you going to find somebody who understands a cop's life?
What we go through.
The things we see.
You'd think her so-called friends would talk some sense into her. They didn't want to get involved.
Not them. Not them and their cushy Wall Street jobs.
They don't have a clue.
Some friends.
Always make me out to be the bad guy.
To hell with them, too. If he had his way, I'm sure he would just love to have me committed. Then where would I be? What happens when the job finds out?
Would they take my guns? Could they fire me? Or would they stick me behind a desk?
That's the last thing I need. I gotta be on the job for my kids to at least get the insurance money. My husband says I'm not a provider. So what do you do?
What do you do? I'll show her. Now everyone will be happy. Maybe now they'll all realize how tough it was. She can't handle it, huh?
We'll see how he likes being alone with 2 kids. My kids have seen what I've been through.
They'll forgive me.
They'll forgive me.
I wanted to be dead.
I had losses of memory for up to a whole week.
I was a time bomb.
Hearing stories about things you said and did and not remembering them, that's got to be the most frightening thing in the whole world.
There's no way you can function going through a manic episode.
At first I thought my husband was lying when he told me I had cursed him out or accused him of unspeakable things. I think I'd never talked to him that way.
I went to Florida with my 3-year-old son without telling my wife.
It wasn't until I had damage to my car and didn't know how or what or even who I had hit that I realized this could really be a dangerous situation.
I even tried to kill myself, but the thought of suicide scared me. And how long would it have been before I was actually successful? I needed help fast, but from where?
I didn't know where to turn for help. You never know who you're talking to, so trust is tough on the job.
I knew I had to tell somebody. Then I found POPPA.
POPPA is an organization of police officers that volunteer their time to man a helpline 24 hours a day for New York City police officers.
It was created by a police officer by the name of Bill Janae, who had this vision of helping police officers in a way that would make police officers comfortable to reach out for help.
We, by utilization of peers, set up a platform for police officers to come forward and just talk to another cop.
And they feel that they can't speak to anyone else but a police officer. Maybe they feel that no one knows what they go through, what they see every day, what they do.
So when a cop is talking to another cop, we understand each other because we've been there, we are there, we are them.
POPPA for me is the best organization that was ever created for police officers, in my opinion. It enables police officers to confidentially call someone in the most critical time.
And in the law enforcement community, there is a lot of concerns with that.
Police officers find it difficult to make the telephone call because we are the helpers. We're the ones that people call for help. If we let people think that we had to make that phone call, it would be a sign of weakness.
Cops are perceived as being very strong, not being able to ask for help.
We're not trained to show that emotion. When we go into a scene, it's to take care of what's going on and then we come right back out. And then after that, if something else comes on, we go right back in. So we never get a time to sit down and say, okay, let's digress from this situation before we go into another situation.
I go into the automatic mode and I do that job. The problem is I shut off that human reaction to things that most people couldn't even look at, no less handle. And then when it's over, I'm coming down internally, emotionally and psychologically, but I'm doing it all by myself. And it's not the kind of thing you should be doing by yourself.
So where do they go for any kind of help or support? They can call POPPA.
Police work is filled with lots of stressful situations.
Stress is different because we're constantly on. We're on, in our minds, we're on 24 hours, 7 days a week. If we see something while we're with our family, we automatically zoom to it.
I always explain to police officers that what they do for a living isn't, quote, normal. It's not what we as civilians would see. We would see it maybe once in a lifetime. They see it on a daily basis.
Stress is a part of life. But the key important thing is how we confront it.
Everyone is different. Everyone has their level of what they can and cannot deal with. And a relationship is what could set someone over that edge.
As cops, we shut out our loved ones and the people who mean most to us. That's our way of coping.
You might find someone who is increasingly withdrawn, depressed, anxious. They may get irritable, have what you might consider a short fuse, cognitive problems, problems with attention, concentration, memory, focusing.
Very often police officers find that because they don't seem to have an answer to how their future is going to unfold, that there's nothing else that they can do. And that's when those thoughts of suicide can possibly creep in.
When a 1013 goes off on our beeper and we answer that call, that means our fellow officer is in dire needs, and we are there for them.
It relates to POPPA very directly, because when an officer, many times, when an officer reaches out for that phone, that is a 1013. That's the officer saying, I feel alone, I need somebody's help.
We are there sitting with them, going through that stressor with them, so we won't have a bad result at the end.
Years ago, girl that came through the academy with me was, she committed suicide. And I had no idea. And it made me sad to think that she felt so alone, that this was her only option. POPPA came to talk to us at the range, and it hit me like a ton of bricks that this is something I could do. This is something I could do to make sure that what happened to my friend would never happen to another police officer again.
Make that call. Just pick up that phone and make that call.
POPPA would not have been in existence if the confidentiality is not there.
I've seen it work. I've helped people who've called, and I've seen them in the beginning when they're maybe a little bit nervous, they don't want to talk, to them all of a sudden talking, getting things off their chest. All of a sudden they say, you know what, I feel so much better. This made me feel so much better. And that's why we do it.
POPPA is much more progressive than anything the job has done before.
With POPPA, you're dealing with a caliber of people who care. Cops who care.
To deal with someone who has experienced what you are going through is very important.
These are special people. Very special people.
It's really confidential, and you can trust in that.
I came so far because of POPPA. I care about me again.
POPPA helps us to be our best at any time and to have a better understanding of ourselves as human beings so we can perform better as police officers.
Please, suicide is a final act. Make the decision to make the call. We have trained police officers volunteering their time 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to answer your call. We've been where you are. We've walked in your shoes. This program is supported by the New York City Police Department as a way to give you options. We're here, we're confidential, we're safe, and we care.